Yay. This took a little while. Fantastic. I'm not sure if my settings are all right or if this is going to end, or I had no idea. It was a little bit complicated, but welcome to LilyPod Yoga, Ghee and Kitcheri tutorial here on YouTube. This is my first live stream on YouTube, and I have no idea if anybody's going to come and watch, but here I am. And in the event that you would like to watch of Kitcheri, I have a video on my YouTube channel, although it's about 7 years old, but Kitcheri making is over 5,000 years old, and it doesn't change. So we're going to start with how to make ghee. This will be our first ongoing procedure, and the making of ghee is probably one of the easiest things in the world because you would just leave it. So we're gonna start with, I don't have a gas stove. I have this very fancy electrical stove. I'm not used to it, but we'll do our best. So I'm setting the heat to medium, and we're working with the best quality butter that you can get. This is an Irish butter. I love anything Irish and British butter. It's probably the tastiest I've ever had. So this is, it doesn't say it's organic, but it's very high quality. So let's say the heat is on medium. We're gonna go ahead and take the butter out, and basically we just leave it. We leave it all the way to the end, and then we're going to notice some deposits that get, they kind of like, they sit at the bottom, they're brown, and they are a little bit on the dark side. So this is what we don't want to consume. This is what, this is sort of the cholesterol that we don't want. So we are going to go ahead and take out as much of the butter as possible from the package, and we're just going to let it sit. I already have some ghee prepared for our kitchen. So this is just so in the purpose of showing you how easy it is, and the entire family loves it, and it's, the health benefits of ghee are enormous. So I encourage you that if you don't know, to please look online, go to Google and look up benefits of ghee. They're quite enormous, especially from an Ayurvedic point of view. So we'll let it melt, and you can see right here. And basically, the point at which you're going to turn it off and just remove it is when you see it turning golden, like a golden color. And that means that your ghee is ready. You put it to the side, and then you're going to put it through a sieve to collect what you don't want. And it's best to put it in a glass jar. This is going to keep it at its most natural state. So we'll let the ghee sit there. We're going to start our kitcheri making. So I like to work, or Ayurveda recommends to work with high quality pots, cast iron, or even copper. I think this is a quite high quality pot. And I just want to send love and gratitude to Kirsty. In case if she, even if she's not watching, I'm sending her love and light to her. This is her house. And okay, I hope I do have somebody watching up there, but it doesn't matter. I'm doing this in love and gratitude to Ayurveda, because I love it. I have an Ayurvedic lifestyle and a yogic lifestyle, and I'm doing this in benefit of all. Yes. So my ghee is going. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna heat up the element to about number 7, 8, or medium high if you have a gas stove. And we're going to start with ghee. So ghee is our first ingredient in the kitchen making. That was quite loud. Got a strange sound coming through. So we wanna start with quite a lot of ghee on the pot. The more the better. Especially because I like to work with a lot of spices. And in my opinion, the more spices, the better. And in terms of how much spices and how much of it, I do it literally by eye, and I find that the more, the better. And spices and the healing effects and benefits of spices come through with heat. So it's important to know that. I've got here, this is a bay leaf. In Ibiza, we're very lucky to have abundance of fruit and herbs. And I mean, we have, you can literally just go out of your house for a walk and you can pick up sage, lavender, wild thyme, which is very, very healing for anything to do with the throat. This is all from Ibiza. So we're going to start with the spices. So we're going to literally just add the spices, and I'm going to tell you what I'm adding as I'm going. So this is cilantro. The one ingredient I could not find was mustard seeds, which are incredibly important in kitchen making, but I couldn't find any. And the key with those, with mustard seeds, is that when they pop, you know it's ready. So I'm also adding non-Ayurvedic spices. This is sweet pepper or sweet pimiento dulce, pimiento picante. I'm being very cheeky and adding some curry powder into the mix, which I find that if you don't have a lot of spices, just adding some curry masala, as we call it, is gonna give beautiful flavor to your kitchen. Of course, you don't want to go without cumin. We're putting a little bit of powdered ginger. Powdered ginger in Ayurveda, medicinal herb, and some paprika. I'm quite generous with the spices. So I'm letting that heat up with the ghee. I wish I had a camera above, but don't have that kind of fancy equipment. So the ghee and the mix together and slightly medium to high heat. And the first ingredient after the spices is going to be ginger. And it's in Ayurveda, curcuma is considered the most medicinal spice we can have. So that's ready for the next bunch of spices. And I want to show you, so I've got here fresh ginger and fresh curcuma. So that's my next ingredient into our beautiful pot of gorgeous smelling spices. And I let that work. The smells, I wish that could come through the video. The smells coming from this pot are mouth-watering, let's say, and also very, very, very healing. The most important thing about the kitcheri is that we want to soak the lentils. These are mung beans or mung dal overnight, and this is a wild rice combination. You can choose the type of rice you want to use. It doesn't have to be white basmati. It could be brown rice. It could be short grain, long grain. This looks like it's wild. 5 different types of rice. I think it's quite all right. Similarly to, you don't have to use only Indian spices. So kitcheri is a very creative process, and I'm quite big on changing things up. Also, the vegetables we use, I like to believe that 2 is enough, and they can change from time to time. So here we're going to be using carrots and sweet potatoes, and in Ayurveda, the mung dal is considered the best and most nutritious bean. I'll tell you a little bit about the benefits while I'm going. I've got them all written down because my Vataman not remember everything about the benefits. I also have kale here. Now, kale for me is it's not really a vegetable I eat a lot. I skip it often, and so I discovered on my last cleanse that using it in the kitchen is a great way to eat it. And so I do that at the same time as I add the vegetables. So my melange is ready for the beans. So the next ingredient is the beans and the rice. And I've done a little bit more than a cup. And I'm going to be probably eating kitcheri for a whole week. So remember that the rice and the beans have to be soaked overnight. This is one of the important things about Ayurveda, is that we want to soak all the grains, sometimes and more often than not, for Vata, soaking the nuts, seeds, rice, grain, everything. So the rice and the beans are getting impregnated with a gorgeous melange of spices and ghee. Again, the aroma is incredible. Okay, so we're going to let that sit for a moment. I'm going to start to tell you about the benefits of kitcheri. The benefits of kitcheri, it eliminates accumulated toxins from the mind and the body, improves digestion, and it restores a regular bowel movement. It removes heaviness in the body, or any congestion if there's any. And on that note, sometimes when we start to eat kitcheri, if we've never had this food before, your system, it takes a few days for your system to sort of recalibrate and to recognize what's happening. And therefore afterwards, for a few days you might get a little bit clogged up, but eventually your body starts to recognize the benefit. Bowel movements. What else? It can support weight loss. So during a kitcheri cleanse, usually minimum 7 days to 10 days, you are going to observe weight loss. Even though you can eat kitcheri for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and have bowls of it, you can have as much of it as you want. This is a mono diet, and you still lose weight because you're cutting out everything. You're cutting out all the crap, basically. And it improves energy and vitality, and lastly promotes overall health and wellness. So it's what Ayurveda recommends if you want to do, or if you want to observe a period of cleansing or detoxing. So we have a beautiful, I'm going to show you. So that's what it looks like right now. And then I'm going to add the vegetables. So a combination of carrots and sweet potato. I love orange, and also in terms of the chakras, we are feeding the lower chakras. We have Muladhara chakra, which is red. Sthana is orange. So your second chakra, all this orange color, the sacral chakra, which is it's a little bit about survival. Lots of creativity, improves creativity when the. So I'm going to let that sit for a moment, and I'm going to add the kale actually. The kale is going to bring a little bit of moisture into the mix. So I'm adding the kale to the mix. I like to keep my kitchen clean as I'm moving. So it looks something like that at the moment. So I'm going to put a lid on it for just a moment in order to bring some moisture in. Sorry for the noise. So I've put a lid over the pot so that we can start to get some of the natural juices from the vegetables, from the combination of the spices, the flavors together, which is basically what gives all the goodness and the taste. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I go back to the ghee. So what we start to see with the ghee is it starts to bubble up, and we start to see white sediment coming to the top. I have been told several different things about this. Some people like to remove it. This is that fat that we don't want. But I actually think from another source, I was told to just leave it. Leave the ghee alone. It does what it needs to do, just in the same way that intelligence is telling us what to do all the time. So we leave it. So the white sediment, the whitish, the fat, it tends to be a little bit like clouds, white clouds through the ghee. You can move it around a little bit with a fork so that it kind of sits on the outside edge of your pot. I like to use a frying pan when I make ghee so that I can see. It's more visual. It's a visual process, a visual creative process. So I push this flat residue to the side so I can actually see into the golden liquid, so that I know when to turn it off. Because you don't want to go beyond that point, because then you're just burning it, and then it's you're defeating the purpose of creating something that's healing for the body. And what ghee is doing, and the reason why Ayurveda sees it as medicine, is that once ghee enters the digestive tract, the GI tract, is actually pulling toxins from your system into the digestive tract. So it's pulling, literally, it's going, okay, you don't belong here. You come. All of that stuff, all of the toxins in Ayurveda or in Sanskrit it's called ama. So all the toxins then comes into the digestive tract through the entire tract. The small intestine, which is the seat of Pitta, into the large intestine, which is the seat of Vata. And then your body is naturally expelling these toxins. Amazing. So I'm going to go back to the kitcheri. And then add some water, and that is it for the kitchen, literally. Oh, I didn't add the bay leaves, so the beautiful bay leaves. I'm going to add two. This is also in terms of Ayurveda. The bay leaves, this is medicine. So I'm only going to add two. I have quite a big pot. It's not amazing. The color of green and orange is magnificent. It's food, but it's just so full of life and medicine. So once I've stirred up nice and tidy, I'm going to add the water, which is ready here. So I've got quite a big pot, but I've got quite a lot of ingredients in there. So I basically fill it up to almost the top, so about 3/4 of the way. A little bit short of water, so I'm going to grab this here. In my teapot. That should be. So I've got 3/4 of the way up filled with water, and then I'm going to bring it to a boil, and then simmer it. I put a lid on it, and basically when your veggies are soft but not too soft, your kitcheri is made. So that's on its way to getting made. We have, I would say, another 5 minutes for the ghee, and then it's done. And then I turn it off, I put it through a sieve, and then let it cool down a little bit. And then put it into the jar, into the glass jar. I have a feeling this is Emma watching. I hope this is you, Emma. Thank you, teacher. Thank you, darling. We have a beautiful day here in Ibiza, so I don't think many people are watching, but that's okay. Like I said, this is for a higher purpose. Okay, so I'm going to tell you something about, because you're not actually going to see the final product of the kitcheri, because it takes a good 45 minutes until it's made. And so when your kitcheri is finished, to serve, you want to add some fresh cilantro or pastry, or fresh cilantro or parsley, not pastry. You want to add some juice of lemon. This is going to help essentially when you turn it off, you can add the lemon right away, which is going to stop the cooking, but it's essential to use lemon in your kitcheri. You want to maybe squirt a little bit of sesame oil, and we're talking about the best quality oils that you can get, cold pressed organic. A little bit of tamari if you need a little bit of salt, or in brass, which is available more in Canada and in the US. That's what I'd rather be using, and it's sprinkled with a little bit of sesame seeds. So that is your dish ready to be served. So that is it for my tutorial today. I trust that some people are going to watch it and learn from it. And if you're interested in joining our next Ayurvedic group class, is going to be happening in the spring, where you get the full program, and then we create a group in WhatsApp, and then we're helping and supporting each other on a daily basis. I also have lots of different programs online now that are available. For example, I have an energetics of food, and in terms of Ayurveda, it's a phenomenal course if you really want to dive into knowing about what each food that you're consuming, what is it, good for in terms of energetics? Is it cooling? Is it warming? What is it going to do to my mind? So it's in terms of, you want to dive a little bit deeper, and also have some other courses, also in Marma course, which is learning how to do pranic healing. And soon we're going to have an Ayurveda online course, which will be beneficial for yoga teachers or anybody wanting to learn more about Ayurveda. So this is probably, now I wish I can show you. I'm going to see if you can see the color of the ghee. Remember? See, like that. Like that, you can see it. Yeah. So it's not quite golden yet, but it's getting there. And so I am super happy to be able to pass this information, this knowledge on to anybody that wants to learn how to live a much healthier, joyful life, and to be able to bring vitality and healing through food and Ayurveda. So thank you for watching, and thank you for whoever's out there watching. Thank you so much for coming, and so I'll be doing some more live streams in the future, all related to Ayurveda. So this is boiling up, by the way, so I'm going to bring it down somewhere to a nice low number, and then that's, yeah, and if you live in Ibiza, you can come for a bowl of Kitcheri. Namaste. Thank you. Ciao for now. And my misses you. Thank you. I'll see you next week.